According to the Wall Street Journal, China is planning to block companies connected to the U.S. military from accessing rare earth magnets. Those magnets are used in fighter jets, submarines, missiles. Retired four-star General Jack Keane joins me now. General, you just visited the Pacific region. You were looking at the China threat. Is restricting rare earth magnets to our military an escalation?
No, it's not really an escalation. I mean, the problem we have is when we make a deal with China, they have a tendency to renege on it. And the evidence we learned from the Trump administration, no one's ever really confronted China before except the Trump administration, but they reneged on the fentanyl deal. You know, they send the precursors to Mexico. Mexico manufactures fentanyl, ships it to the United States through cartel distributors and the like. But they did not curtail the precursors. This time they say they're going to do that. There is some evidence they're attempting to do that. We'll see if they come through with it. The second thing, going back to evidence on China, in the first deal, they came up $211 billion short in terms of buying our exports, which they committed to do out of $500+ billion. They're supposed to do the same here. And now they're reneging on this part of the deal, dealing with rare earth magnets, which they were supposed to open the door to us so we could purchase them. So we've got to, keep our eyes open with China. They've got a history of reneging here. They're doing something here already in this deal. And obviously, we got some pretty tough negotiators here as part of the Trump team. Yeah. They can get back into this thing and put the evidence in front of them and say, knock it off, and let's come to terms again on what the original deal was.
Yeah, knock it off. I like that expression. Next one, General. The Navy has assembled a huge military force in the Caribbean and the Eastern Pacific. Now, Venezuela is mobilizing. General, it looks like some kind of action is imminent, possibly regime change. What do you say?
Well, we don't know. I mean, I think there's a couple of options that are really available to the Trump administration. I mean, certainly they're trying to stop, and I think they effectively have, the distribution of narcotics at sea. But there are other means available, certainly, to Maduro. What is so different here when compared to the other governments in Latin and South America is that Maduro and the cartel are one. And that's really what the problem is. So what the Trump administration is attempting to do is demonstrate to the elites that are surrounding Maduro that it's not worth keeping this guy in as our leader, given the clampdown that the United States is threatening here, and certainly demonstrating its military superiority. Listen, as an Army guy, I can tell you full out, the number one symbol of American military superiority is that aircraft carrier that's sitting now off the coast of Venezuela. And that sends a huge message. Whether we're going to actually go in there and take down some cartel labs and some other storage sites remains to be seen. I don't see us taking a physical regime change of Maduro. I think what we're hoping for, as I mentioned, is that internal changes made to get rid of this guy, and maybe we get a government in there that we can certainly work with. Listen, Maduro's military is no opposition to ours. They're very weak, ineffectual, low morale, not particularly well equipped. He's threatening that he would conduct a guerrilla operation against us. I think he's trying to take that page out of when we deposed Saddam Hussein and ran him and his military out of Iraq. They did come back to us in a guerrilla-type operation, but they had billions of dollars. They had a lot of human capital. They had an unlimited amount of weapons. That's a completely different category than what the Venezuelans are in. They're in no shape or form to take on the United States military anyway, conventionally or even by guerrillas. That just isn't a realistic option.
Would you say Maduro's days in power are limited? Would you say that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't believe the Trump administration will try to physically remove him. But that option obviously is there, and the president will make a judgment about it. But I do think what we are hoping for is that the people that are keeping him in power remove him.
Got it. General Jack Keane, always a pleasure. Thanks very much for joining us, sir. We always appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, great talking to you, as always, Stuart.
You too, General.